How do I keep getting bigger as an elite natural? It seems like every year my physique is constantly improving, all without plateaus. And in recent videos, the positive comments have been overwhelming. So thank you so much for letting me know that what I'm doing is working, because right now I'm going to bring it back to you. Let you know the secrets to these newfound gains. Starting with the obvious. Time is going by fast. I don't know if you guys are aware, but many of you, if not most, have been subscribed for a good 3 years now, since global events happened in 2020. Doesn't it feel like yesterday that we were all going through the same thing? You have seen this home gym evolve right before your very eyes. Probably went through it yourself, hence being relatable. But all this to say, do you realize how much 3 years can do to a person? You can be a complete novice, never stepped in the gym ever, skinny to the max, bones popping out, can barely bench the empty bar. Yet, after 3 years, you're an intermediate lifter, sometimes even advanced. I've met a lot of you that can bench 3 plates within that duration, or bench somewhere in the 200s. In general, you will have a complete body transformation. Even in myself, I look absolutely amazing after 1 year of training. Now, although it is true that after a certain point, the gains slow down, doesn't change the fact that, as I always say, minuscule PRs add up, whether it be in a performance context or lean muscle tissue. Now, in my case, I've been making videos since 2013, November. So the channel is a bit over 9 years old. And of course, I had lifting experience prior. In total, it's about 13 years. And what makes me different compared to others is that these were not half-assed years. As you know, as I've documented, as I've proven, I always give it my all. I always set higher goals, and I never settle. Each year, there's something improving. The goals might change. I might be more hypertrophy or strength focused, calisthenics, powerlifting, bodybuilding. Regardless, I cannot say that I've had a single year that wasn't productive, because I make it that way and I stay on my grind. And this is what you got to do. This isn't some lifestyle where you can take a couple weeks off here and there. And of course, there's never any excuses regarding this natural limit, which, as I'm starting to see now, is a total scam. I'm seeing natural bodybuilders in their 50s that look better than when they were in their late 20s. So we look at the calculators. They say you're going to gain about 2 pounds of muscle a year after a certain point. Well, for me, that's a lot of muscle when the years add up. If you're going to do this for the rest of your life, is that not enough to completely transform you? So put this in perspective. 2020 till now, I've done 3 bulks, each time reaching higher highs. From 2019 till 2020, I bulked up from 169 to 180, also acquiring a 385 bench. 2021, went from 160 to 185, netted a 405 bench. In 2022, went from 145 maximally depleted to 200 pounds, and regaining all my former strength while having even more muscle mass, especially in the legs. So we're talking about 3 legit bulks where the sole focus is the training, where I cannot f that up. The recovery is maximized. I am pushing it to the limit 100% of the time and running aggressive programming that most of you guys probably will not be able to recover from. I did it. I sacrificed my aesthetics. Even though I had a moon face, my muscle definition was blurry, I did what I had to do to gain size. I was not afraid of bulking. I know this is not my set point. I know I'm known as the bear mode guy, but realistically, 12-15% body fat, that's where I'm chilling. So you best believe I'm eating more than I even want to. Yeah, you can stuff your face, and of course it's a slower way to bulk, but just to say, I don't particularly enjoy being that heavy. Not anymore anyway. But nonetheless, it doesn't stop me from reaching my goals, because I want it. If I want more, there's only one path that I'm going to pursue. Bulking, and that's it. I am not here to around. And a lot of you guys are trying to manipulate all these variables to retain everything. You're trying to juggle all these things. Listen, I'm the jack of all trades when it comes to training, but with diet, it's one or the other. And all the years where I focus on maintenance. It's been slow as progress. When I do a lean bulk or a giga bulk, every time it ends up being worth it when I cut back down. And that's essentially what you're seeing. Do you think I'm bigger now than a couple months ago? No. Each passing month, I'm getting progressively smaller. Yet, the muscle definition is revealing what was already built. If anything, I've lost muscle, but I've retained most of it such that it's still a net gain. And that in itself allows me to look bigger when leaner. But if you were to look at me and think, oh, this guy must be 180, 200. No, I'm 158 pounds. But the thing is, that's still 5 pounds more than last year when I was at this exact same body fat. I was 153, and that's the beauty of documenting all your shit. You can compare your pics. I have everything. And that's another thing I want to point out. Since 2020, I'm a fitness influencer. That's been a single workout where I didn't film something. Most of the time, it's the entire session. Obviously, I'm not going to start posting all my workouts because then it starts to get repetitive and I don't want to bombard you with that, right? I use those clips for B-roll, for my informative type of content, right? So I film everything and I write it down as well. But mostly the filming, that forces me to be accountable. Not only do I get to see my form, I can perfect it moving forward, but also allows me to assess progressive overload and muscular weaknesses. So every day I'm getting an assessment, not to mention the fact that I do extra workouts just for B-roll. What if I don't have enough clips for a given segment? Well, now I'm coming in, filming some more stuff. So I essentially live in this home gym. I'm constantly filming nonstop. And that forces me to be on top of my game. My programming needs to be sustainable from a production and gain standpoint. So in a way, I'm a prisoner of gains. I'm kind of forced to be hyper aware of my own progress. And that allows me to constantly tweak the variables. But besides that, another obvious thing I want to point out, which I briefly mentioned, is the fact that I bench 405. This was 2 years ago, to which I gained even more muscle from there. Do people realize how heavy that is? Like, I try not to brag. I try not to have a big ego. But the bench press is the ultimate bro lift. And 4 plates is like the elite achievement that less than 1% of lifters will ever do. And I can bench more than what most people with great physiques can deadlift. So I just want you to imagine holding 4 plates in your hand, doing a full range of motion, and then pressing it back up. That is what I did as a lifetime natural. Is it shocking that someone who can bench 405 looks jacked, has a great physique? Is it shocking that the basics actually work? Is it shocking that most naturals who bench 315 have great physiques? Is it shocking that getting from 315 to 350 is rather difficult, and then 350 to 405 is even crazier, that most fail even when they try to specialize? So is it shocking that a 405 bencher fucking jacked? Me. I'm sorry to put it like that, but I specialized for years. I put everything into this. And now we have data coming out proving that bench press strength is mostly correlated with upper body muscle. That's your biggest predictor. You can put powerlifters in a DEXA scan and hypothesize what their 1 rep maxes will be. Who's going to win the competition? All things being equal, limb lengths and weight classes, just look at the guy's physique. No shit. And the only reason why I didn't look as impressive back then is because my body fat was too high. But as I always say, the muscle is there. Some of you are so muscular, even bigger than me in many cases. But because you decided to permabulk or bloat max, you went beyond bare minimum, way above 20% body fat. You don't realize that. And you look at me like, wow, you're an inspiration, Alex. No, motherfucker, you inspire me. You have all this lean muscle tissue that's just waiting. It's sitting there. Look at these before and after transformations of these obese guys who are rather strong. They did strongman, or in general, they had big numbers. Look at Freaky D. He's jacked as a motherfucker. Bro, if you were bare mode for a long time, you did that. You already bulked, and the muscle is there. You just got to maintain it on the way down. And that's what you're seeing with your boy. I'm nothing special. I've just been at it for a long time. There's not even any secrets. You just have to do this for long enough, specialize in the right things, constantly learn, and keep yourself accountable. And then year after year, you get a bit better, a bit better, a bit better, a bit better. It's that simple. I don't have any next level tips to share. I'm just a product of consistency. And that's what separates the greats from the posers. You look at any natural on YouTube Fitness who has a great physique. Most of the time, their programming differs. There's going to be some similarities, but just to say, in the recent collaboration segment where we all shared our top 10 exercises, they were all different lists. Maybe there'd be like 3 or so that were comparable, like the general principles applied, but it's not about your exercises. It's not even about your periodization style. It's not even about your split. It's about doing most of things right for years at a time. And I guarantee you that if you train for a decade of no bullshit, not saying, oh yeah, I've been training for 10, 20 years and it's really just 5 years of legit stuff. No, you do it right from start to finish, obsessed, almost to an unhealthy level, to the point where you're probably going to have body dysmorphia. Because I'm going to say this as well, when I look at my physique, I don't see it to the extent that you guys see it. So I'm a bit in that way, but maybe that's what makes me keep going, right? But if you do this for years and years and years, success is the only fucking option. And don't you fucking dare come in my comment section and tell me that I'm some genetic elite. Oh, your last name is Leonidas. You're descended from a Greek king. It must be that. That's the fucking reason. It's the awakening of what was already inside of you. Nah, motherfucker. We all have this inside. I'm not some freak. You've seen the documentation. I've proven to you that you can overcome the odds with good programming and never stopping this learning journey. I put my money where my mouth is. I drop my ego when necessary. I'm investing in courses, books. I got 48 fitness books that I got to read this year. I'm going to go through them all. You bet my ass I will. So if I'm not too good to learn, if I'm learning from my peers, if this journey of being the best educator doesn't stop, then hell, it doesn't stop for you either. So overall, I gained over 5 pounds of muscle, and in all the right spots, the areas that were holding back my physique. What I always tell you, you need to correct your weaknesses. In my case, it was delts and arms. When guys look at me now, they're like, holy shit, those delts are capped. And I didn't even do lateral raises to get to this point. So all you people who were calling me crazy, saying that overhead pressing doesn't work the delts, who's laughing now? You see the physique updates. So I'm not saying that they're overpowering. I'm not saying that they're better than even a lot of my peers. But they certainly came up through focusing on the right compound movements. And the arms, same thing. I learned about biomechanics. I stopped listening to powerlifters so much on how to optimally train them. And they freaking exploded. I'm not going to cover all those points. You can watch this video to learn more. But all this to say, you strategically target the areas that are holding back your physique. You get lean enough to reveal the separation and the proportions. You stop being a leg day skipper as well, because that will increase your absolute weight. Like, if I tell you that I gained 5 pounds of muscle in the last year, maybe 2 of those pounds was from the upper body, 3 in the lower, because I was neglecting my legs to that level. So that's also why you'll see some calisthenics athletes who look much heavier than they weigh because they got chicken legs. And that can be a lot, and I don't blame them for it. They're trying to excel at their skill work, But in my case, I don't allow myself to have weak points. I'm trying to look at this from a real bodybuilding perspective. I want every muscle from head to toe to be jacked to the max. And that's why I'll be competing. That's why I'll be bringing my best self. It doesn't stop. And every year, it's just going to keep being this pattern until I choose to settle. Until I choose. That's what I'm saying. You set your own limitations. So that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed my ranty, non-structured segment. Let me know if you want to see more videos like this. And let's see some feedback in the comment section. Why do you think I look the way I do now? And have you noticed the same thing in your own journey as we've all been growing together? Let me know, and I'll talk to you next time.